I have sat down to check and analyze it. You know, when a man of God, when the Reverend, I think in Nevada, some months ago, was preaching, he was ministering and weeping. He was shedding tears while ministering. He's a very experienced minister, very well respected minister. And he said, he's not crying because he's afraid of leaving. As a matter of fact, that it's a thing of joy that he has served and lived this long. But the painful part of his departure in view is the people he's leaving the gospel in their hands. He said that he has looked around with a wealth of experience and that he can tell that this generation, this current youth, can never, they don't have the capacity to sustain the fire of the gospel. They are not a generation that can make a difference. Now he said he is not prophesying, neither is he cursing them or prophesying or seeing vision. That it is pure practical from what he has seen. He knows that God can make a change, that God can turn around the hearts of men. Even the heart of stone can become as soft as a loaf. And that is his prayer, his last wish, that he wished that God can reward his old age and his long-term service with the fire, the revival fire upon these young people, to turn their hearts away from wickedness and evil and give their hearts this desire, passion for Christ. I have seen, even in his church, everywhere, has looked around with emphasis on Nigeria because of what the gospel has been through in this country, because of the consistent battle our faith is facing in this country, and that as a man of over 80, that he has seen, that he can remember from childhood what the gospel, what the fathers went through, and he can see this current youth comparing with all the generation he has seen, that this is the weakest, the coldest. And I have started with my friend Robin, and we have looked at, I watched that message and my foot got glued on the floor. I couldn't stop. I finished it. And then after which, we started working on the informations. And I can tell you, from what I have seen in my little life, he is not far from the truth. Absolutely. This generation is pathetic. These young people, very pathetic. What I have discovered, this your generation, this youth, the only thing good about them is they are, it seems they have received a talent or a kind of demonic anointing to offend God. Because I have checked their traits. Everything they have got involved in, they multiply the evil in it. This is a generation that has destroyed shame and conscience. They are very bent. They are very resolved, highly resolved in challenging God. They are the generation that first mentioned that God, Christianity is a crime, Jesus is crime, church na scam, church na scam. Now it is this generation actually that came up with that statement, church na scam. This is a generation that they hate righteousness. I can see the passion that they criticize righteousness with passion. These young people. It is also in this generation that the country is witnessing the level, the height of calamity, the height of evil that has never been recorded in the history of this country before. The kind of evil that is being witnessed and experienced in this generation, this country has never witnessed it, even under colonial masters. Look at it practically. This generation, before we had this internet fraud, they call it Yahoo, then it was internet fraud, fraudsters. And I came to realize that this fraudster thing, when I was in school, I noticed that these people, they capture their victims, they call them clients, but they are victims with superior and intelligent presentation and argument. Whatever format they want to use, it seems they research in that line of profession and understand how it works, including the terminologies. So they use all these terms, this format, this drafting of everything must be as perfect as real. They extort, they steal from their victims through conviction. They convince them beyond reasonable doubt. It was a mental thing, it was an intellectual thing. Now this generation came. They couldn't continue with that trend. They changed it and transformed it to Yahoo Plus. Now this Plus doesn't too much require intellectual work. It requires evil. So they cannot go out and bring their mother, kill the mother, get a girlfriend, a lady, cut her in pieces. You look at teenagers, early 20s, confidently cutting human beings, people's daughters, into parts and pieces in the name of Yahoo Plus as a way of convincing a client, so to say. They don't have time to go through that process of building trust, because that's what they do in the past. They build trust in these people through professional presentations, genuine looking presentations. This generation don't have time for that. They are willing to offer the devil whatever he requests, including their own parents, siblings, anybody. Those are the things that God hates, the things that God despises. Those are the things this generation derive pleasure. They are comfortable in doing without remorse. That's why they hate church. You go into profession, like my profession, a medical profession that has ethics, that has honor, very dignified profession. This generation got involved in medical practice. Terrible. Do you know these girls and these boys, they can even go into labor room, into theaters with cameras open. They can post literally a woman giving birth. They can video anything. They are taking your body temperature, they are videoing it, they are making fun of it, paste camera somewhere, and they are taking your readings. This generation is wicked and evil. They don't know protocol, they don't know ethics, they know nothing about profit. They hate it. Before there was prostitution, of course. But to do evil in the past is shameful. So you must hide. You must cover yourself. You must hide. You must disguise. Even to steal before is not a thing to be proud of. Today, they are not just doing prostitution. They even went as far as coming to Abuja to register as in CAC as Prostitutes Association. And now in prostitution, they didn't just stop. They don't just commit prostitution by committing sexual immorality with men, married men and married women. No, they even moved further to bestiality and other forms of sexual immorality that God hates. You go on social media, they're not ashamed. You hear them talking about how they slept with their cousin, how they fall in love with their dad, their biological father, and had sexual relationship with him for 3 years. How they gave birth to their to kid not one, not two, for their immediate younger brother or elder brother, how they sleep with their wife, their brother's wife, how they sleep with their brother's husband. They are bold to say evil things they do that you can hear of in the past. And there are things God despises in the nation. There are sins God visits at individuals. There are also sins He visits on nations. This generation succeeded in withdrawing the hand of God from this nation. And then things that can happen before are now happening. Look at the killings everywhere. And people talk about Islamic agenda. Who told you this agenda is conceived now? This agenda has been there. But because of the vibrancy, the tenacity of the believers, the young, youthful believers in the past, that agenda remained unmaterialized. It remained on conception, never materialized. Because there are men on fire, responsible Christians, young, who are willing to walk the walk and run the run, pray the prayer. They are finding it easy now to implement this agenda, so to say, because the atmosphere is clear. We have a generation that doesn't care about God and holiness, the afterlife. So the spiritual cover is becoming weak because the fathers are getting weak. The young ones are chasing material things. Go to our brethren, Prophets Edu and Apostle Edu, and not the rest. You see young people. Most of the people you see learning how to pray today, many of them, I can tell you, I'm not being judgmental, but I can tell you, many of them are doing it for self-interest, personal interest. It's for what they want from God. So they have learned that this is a way to get these things. So they are committed for the sake of what they want to take from God, not for the interest of God and His kingdom. No, that's not the case. Go to our churches today, you will see thousands, if not millions, hundreds of thousands of them on church dancing. They are all in service units. This is a generation of reprobate heart. They can go and sleep in the boyfriend house on weekend and come to church on Sunday morning from the boyfriend house and still go to altar and sing in the choir and close service and return to the boyfriend house. Very wicked generation. This is let me tell you, quote me, if the church, if the pastors can revert the messages and start condemning atrocities, start going hard on immorality, you will see the rate at which youth presence in the church will decline. The moment the pastors will start hammering on the curse of God upon a man that presents ungodly money gotten in an ill way, how did they say it? Ill-gotten money or something. Money that you get from an immoral way, unjust way. If the moment the pastors start going against such wealth, you will see the rate at which their presence in church will decline. The moment the pastors will start hammering against immorality and how God will visit a man and a woman with immoral life, and you are still coming to church unrepentant, you will from the church go and commit fornication and still return happily dancing. The moment the churches return to the original messages that hits on sin, you will see how the church will be empty of these young people. Because the reason most of them are in church comfortably today is because church is no longer against what they love. The moment the church will start preaching against indecent dressing, the moment the church will start hammering against indecent dressing in the presence of God, you will see how fast their presence in church will decline. They are enjoying, today they consider service as fun. You will hear them saying, "Oh, today church was, we dance, we pray." They're after fun. Anything they go after is fun. They left fornication, that is the normal sin people were committing before. They now moved into sleeping with animals. This generation is unbelievable. Now, the killings, you hear all through the petitions, everything that is being put to work, and the international community started speaking up against the silence of Nigerian government on the massacre, genocide against the church. You now saw the hypocrites in politics started speaking up that there is no genocide. Now you notice that it is still us, the pastors, the elders, that are standing up on that matter. 95% of the social media users are youth. The Christians there are youth. 95% of them were not interested in discussing that matter. The strength of these other brethren, our fellow young people, this other sister religion, the strength of the Muslims, let me be precise, is their youth. Check everything they do. If they have an agenda, which people carries it out, their youth. Whatever they do, check, is their youth. But in the Christendom, you will see the youth chasing after. Now, Robin said he did something I think last month. He did a post and did this thing they call clickbait and used a nude picture as the cover and did something. Now, within the space of 6 hours, according to him, he has about 11,000 views. And I can tell you that out of that 11,000 views, 90% of them are likely to be Christians. Now, we came up with something after the just killings. We went and came back. We had a lot of meetings and we decided to come up with a Kingdom Life Advocacy International, whereby we can set up machineries, physical machineries, that will put that will checkmate the activities of these people against the church. These are Lego team. We have a lot of structures that we can't say now to on air like that, but we needed Christians all over Nigeria, especially in these red zones, to get on board. No money involved, nothing, no cost. All you needed to do is, by the time you upload, get your information with your phone numbers, we'll have access to you. Then your job is simple, to become a watchman for the kingdom. So anywhere you go, you become alert. When you hear something or see something that is against or contrary or suspicious against the body of Christ, you return back to us. We have the machineries to take it up, to do something about it, prevent some of these things. We said, all believers, all Christians, young people, please come on board, join the Kingdom Life. Nobody is charging you. It's the same phone. Just as you're moving around, you're just a watchman, an ambassador for Christ. Anywhere you are, we can reach you when we have information to disseminate. We can disseminate through your phone, not to post online. It's a security matter. So whatever decision or measure we want to take, we'll send it to you on phone. You can tell people around you based on intelligent information we gathered. And we already constructed an intelligent room that our friends in the US are promising to come and equip. We employ people who are going to monitor that system 24/7 and receive calls, messages that will act on. But we said we need Christians on the platform so that we can have access to them directly and they can have access to us directly. We can do this thing. It's for the kingdom. We made that post. They sent it online, paid for the advert. For 7 days, we have less than 50 Christian views. We have more than 5,000. That's correct. But the people that showed interest are less than 50. Less than 50. And I've got to check through that 50. Some are pastors already. Some are elders. They're already advanced. It's less than 10 that are youth among those 50. They're less than 10. But go to videos that are nude, pictures that are nude, see how quick they go into those things. Go to anything that has to do with sports, Bet Niger, you will see them. How can this generation make a difference? How can they sustain the fire of the gospel? How? How? I was listening to Apostle Mike Oropo when he was talking about what they have to go through as teenagers then for the gospel. People trek. I remember then in AFAC, we trek kilometers, poles, hours for evangelism, for church programs as teenagers. We're ever happy to go. Anywhere we hear something is happening, we always want to go. Today, these youths, even if it's just a pole there, if there is no transport fare, they are not going. They are not ready to trek for anything. They are not ready. Invite them for any program, they will tell you it's far if there is provision for transport. I sent some to do something, awareness in Jos. And they asked me about refreshment. That's the way to encourage refreshment. That if there is refreshment, that they will come out. But if there is no refreshment, they won't. The same place where we are focusing on to put up machineries for the security of the church, the young people there are asking me for refreshment. It is me, it is us that are going to put up the structure. The lawyers that were going to engage in that place, that will be taking care of legal matters for the Christians there for free on our cost. The medical setup, we're going to set up doctors, hospitals we are going to engage for all the people on the platform that have medical cases to go to is on our cost. Other issues, security matters, things we are doing is on our cost. Yet we want them to create awareness for it. They ask me for refreshment. These are the youths that are serving youths in the churches. How much can we do? How much? How far can they go with this their cold foot? No zeal, no passion for Christ. And look at the society. It's collapsing because the fire is not. You see, all these are men of God that are making waves in ministry today. Go find out their youthful time, what they went through for Christ. But I pray that God in heaven will go into communities and search the hearts of young people who are willing to go miles for God. Maybe they don't have phone, maybe they don't have the means. May God go and search them out and give them whatever is required for them to take over this battle. Because I can tell you, I'm not scaring you, the battle is getting more intense. As the day comes, the battle will get more intense. But God must make a way. He will.